I already know what I want to make this episode, but I don't know how to start the episode. I don't know. Welcome back. It's a new year. It's the same pile.
What's in that pile?
So in my most recent tree map video, I made Michigan out of some black cherry. You should watch that video if you haven't seen it. It's a lot of fun. But at the end of it, I made a little plate in a style that I hadn't tried yet, and I really liked how that turned out. I wanted to play around with that a little bit more. I wanted like a second try at it. And where did it go? I saw it earlier. Aha! All right, this is a piece of apple wood from my own backyard. I've got a couple apple trees back there, and one of them just completely died before I moved in. So, I've got a few chunks of it left. Here's why I was drawn to apple wood today. Just last night, I had some friends over, and I made a Danish dessert called æbleskiver. Now, the name of that dessert directly translates to apple slices, so I thought it'd be fun to make one of those new plates out of some apple wood. And then, let's see. I know there's more apple wood hiding here in this pile somewhere. You're too small. Aha. Yeah. Digging in this to make a specialized tool that'll help us make our æbleskiver. Let's get working on this though. Basically, we're going to have a flat surface here, 2 live edges on the side, 2 flat edges on either side. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna flatten this half. I'm gonna use the chainsaw to do that because that's the only way I can. All right, so I'm thinking through this. I kind of liked the way that plate that I made last week turned out, and I want to play around with something similar here. We'll have 2. Yeah, boy. This is going to be the top of the plate, but I'm going to start by turning a foot or a tenon to this side so that I can put it in the chuck, and we can turn a decorative foot on the bottom. So yeah, once we get the nice decorative foot for what will be the bottom of the plate, we'll be able to turn that around, hold it in the chuck again, and then finish off the top. So we got the center of this. The rough center, though. This is far from an exact science with a log like this. Good enough. This side. Ooh, hello. Hello, log. How are you doing? There you go. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay. Let's get to it. My mallet is upstairs. Grab that. Okay, so let's talk æbleskiver. This classic Danish dessert consists of spherical balls of fried batter. Think like extra fluffy round pancakes. Again, the name æbleskiver means apple slices, as way back in the day each ball was often filled with slices of apples, and more on that in a minute. But today you're far more likely to have æbleskiver served with no filling at all. I'm already feeling good about this being a pretty neat plate when it's all said and done. Some fun colors going on in there. All right, let's flip it around. It's a good fit. Okay. This half is going to be the bottom of the plate. This is also where most of the cracks are, so I'm actually going to turn away a bunch of this wood first, and then we'll make our foot of the plate, which we can flip it around and then finish shaping the top. All right. exact origin of this dessert is unknown, but it's been a staple in Denmark for hundreds of years. An apocryphal story states that a band of Vikings returning to their ships after a real tough battle decided they were in the mood for some pancakes, and lacking regular pans, they decided to pour batter into their shields and helmets, resulting in a spherical cake. A far more likely explanation has more practical roots. At the end of the harvest season, it was impossible to store raw apples beyond a certain date, so those last remaining apples were sliced and used to flavor glögg, a traditional Scandinavian mulled wine. After the glögg was done, the apple slices were scooped out and wrapped into dough and shaped into spheres and fried into a tasty treat, hence apple slices. Now, the first documented appearance of the word æbleskiver was found in the book Peter's Yule from 1866. The dessert is also mentioned in a Hans Christian Andersen story from 1872. As specialized cast iron æbleskiver pans became available, the recipe was simplified and became a holiday staple throughout the country, as it remains to this day, where again they're usually served without filling and instead accompanied with jam and plenty of powdered sugar. Now, I know from experience after posting a video about æbleskiver last year that a lot of people are shouting at their screens right now as these images of æbleskiver resemble other popular dishes, like the Netherlands puffertjes, which are much flatter and traditionally served with powdered sugar and butter. The popular Japanese snack, takoyaki, also closely resembles the æbleskiver. They were invented by a street vendor named Tomokichi Endo in 1935. Takoyaki use a method and pan very similar to æbleskiver, though instead filling the batter with diced octopus and including tempura scraps, pickled ginger, green onion, and topping with a special takoyaki sauce. Those are just two of the most popular snacks that bear a resemblance to æbleskiver, but there are undoubtedly many more. Okay, so right here I put my microphone in a real obnoxious spot and the audio was basically unusable. So pretend like right now I'm saying something really, really interesting and fascinating and you're just devastated that you can't hear me saying it. And yeah, we're just flipping the plate over and getting to the other side. And yeah, it's just real good stuff. Just top-notch top-notch filmmaking. I'm good at this job. Yeah, we are done. So it's time to oil. Nice. I'm really happy with how this thing's turned out. Applewood is always a real delight to work with. It's got these nice warm tones and interesting colors to it. I like the sapwood on this piece and the gnarly live edge, especially on this one side. Overall, this final form turned out pretty nice. I'm happy. All right, this is more apple wood from one of the apple trees in my backyard. This one, as you can tell, has been dead for a real long time. What I want to use this for is to make some Aebleskever turners. I made some of these in a TikTok last year, right around this same time. They kind of felt a little bit gimmicky when I first started making them, almost like, oh, I'm just making this for a TikTok video, so I've got some content, but they actually ended up working out really well. So I want to try to see how well I can replicate that design. I'm going to start by splitting this. There's a pretty hefty crack. Instead of that little hatchet, I'm going to use this instead. This should make it a little bit easier. Okay, so some facts about the apple tree itself. Now, I've talked a lot about it in some of my short form videos, and I'll probably have more to say in future applewood videos. But just a brief capper, the apple tree, Malus domestica, is a cultivated descendant of the original apple tree, Malus sieversii, which is native to the mountains of southern Kazakhstan. After the tree was domesticated, humans began to develop all sorts of cultivars by selective breeding and grafting. And there are thousands of cultivars, with nearly 100 of them that are native to Denmark. Alright, so these turners are a fun little project, but really you can turn your Aebleskever with toothpicks, sewing needles, chopsticks, just anything that feels right and gets the job done. But hey, a handmade applewood little funky Aebleskever hook, come on, you can't go wrong with that. The plate and turners are done and looking great, so that means it's finally time to make some Aebleskever. Start by separating 3 eggs and adding the whites to the bowl of a mixer with a tablespoon of sugar and whipping on high until fluffy and stiff. Set that aside, and in a separate bowl, combine the egg yolks with 250 grams of all-purpose flour, a half teaspoon of baking soda, quarter teaspoon salt, half teaspoon cardamom, 1 teaspoon vanilla, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Gonna grab our olive wood spoon from our last What's in That Pile episode and mix until combined. Then, while beating with a hand mixer or in a stand mixer, gradually add 4 deciliters of buttermilk and keep mixing until fully incorporated. Then slowly add 100 grams of melted and cooled butter while whisking. Keep mixing that until combined, and then finish by gently folding the egg whites until the whole thing's looking nice and fluffy and beautiful. And now it's time for the real show. Using an Aebleskever pan on medium heat, add a small bit of butter to each hole and fill that hole mostly full with batter. Once it's starting to look ready to turn, rotate it 90 degrees. And look at that, our little turner's doing the job pretty great, even if I didn't film this all too well. Whoops, I'm still a professional. Okay, once it's turned, fill it with a bit more batter, then rotate the ball all the way around and finish cooking. Let's plate them up on our new lovely applewood plate. Always traditionally, you serve 3 at a time. Add some jam, I've got black currant and lingonberry. Dust with some powdered sugar and give yourself a nice dunking pile as well. This looks delicious. Varsågod. Ska vi till det här? Ja, välkommen då. Puha! That's delicious. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. This is gonna be a high risk, high reward. We ready? We ready? It's way too big. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Don't worry, I definitely took care of Miles. But as always, thanks for watching. And don't forget to like the video if you feel like it. And, subscribe if you feel like that too. And definitely leave a comment if you spotted a piece of wood in that pile that you want me to dig out in the next episode. But I hope to see you all again next time when we find out
What's in that pile?